Special Edition.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching the special edition of the News Hour. My name is Pranesh Kumar Roy. Thanks for joining us amid a worldwide Omicron variant scare that was first detected in South Africa, that experts have said has a significantly higher number of mutations. Prime Minister Modi held a high-level meeting and has asked officials to review plans to ease restrictions on international travel. The Prime Minister also spoke about the need to be proactive in the light of new variant. The message is, do not lower your COVID guard. Wear mask, follow social distancing, even if you're fully vaccinated.
और जो नया वेरिएंट आया कल परसों साउथ अफ्रीका के अंदर और भी ज़्यादा खतरनाक हो सकता है वो। हमारे यहाँ थर्ड वेव की संभावना व्यक्त की जा रही है, पर अभी फॉर्चुनेटली अभी लक्षण दिख नहीं रहे, परंतु पिछले 10 दिनों में जो संख्या बढ़ रही है, राजस्थान में बढ़ रही है और सब जगह बढ़ रही है, वो चिंता का विषय बना हुआ है। तो अभी भी मास्क लगाने की जरूरत बहुत ज़्यादा है, जो लापरवाह लोग हो गए हैं।
What we are concerned is with the new variant which has witnessed in South Africa, Botswana, and Hong Kong. These are the countries where we have witnessed this new mutation from the Delta variant. In the last 9 months, we saw that Delta variant was the predominant one. Persons who are traveling or who are originating, embarking from these origins, high-risk countries. And once we find that they are positive, then we will be quarantining them and treating them in the close areas where there is airports only, nearby hospitals. Those people who are negative, we'll send them home, but 1 week of quarantine is mandatory.
यहाँ पर कोई फर्क पड़ने वाला नहीं है। सब गुजराती को कोई चिंता करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। अगर कोई भी संक्रमण आता है, अगर ये जैसे रिपोर्ट हुआ है और भारत में भी प्रवेश कर जाता है, तो पूरी तैयारी के साथ भारत सरकार, गुजरात सरकार वो डटकर उसका सामना भी करेगी।
You're watching the News Hour Special Edition, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And let me open this up. We have a stellar panel of experts, top doctors of the country. Dr. Suneela Garg, member Lancet Commission, COVID India Task Force and National President of IAPSM and OMAG. Dr. N.K. Mehra, former Dean of AIMS and Honorary Emeritus Scientist, ICMR. Dr. Sandeep Buddhiraja also with us, Group Medical Director, Max Healthcare. And Dr. Ashok Seth, needs no introduction, Padma Bhushan awardee, Chairman of Fortis Extrots Heart Institute. Good evening to all of you. Dr. Buddhiraja, I want to begin by asking you, sir, has India done enough? Are we prepared for Omicron?
See, I think what one could have done, the country has done, whether it is vaccinating people, whether it is setting up an infrastructure, being prepared with all the manpower and logistics. I think, as per me, we are prepared. But if a variant like Omicron strikes any country, I think no matter of how prepared you might be, things can get overwhelmed. For not only healthcare, but I think government at large and for everyone. So it is absolutely imperative that everybody understands their responsibility and we act sensibly. And most importantly, public maintaining COVID appropriate behavior is, I think, the single most important thing. If all of us do our bit, I think the country is prepared to handle it.
Dr. Garg, we are also taking viewers' call. We want to use this opportunity now that we have all 4 of you so that their queries, concerns can be answered. What do you make of the threat, ma'am? Because a lot of people have already started saying that, look, India wasn't prepared when the second wave hit us. Hopefully, we've learned our lessons.
I think what is more important for the people to know is that there is a concern but then we need to be very, very vigilant. In terms of that, we need not lower our guard at any time. Festivals have passed and people have become complacent, thinking that, the virus is not going to come back. But we always knew that, since the virus is not gone out of the country, it is there amongst us, so it can be there in many forms. It can either mutate, it can be going towards endemicity, or also it can come in form of large number of cases, from a particular state also. Now, this is what has happened. You see, when in a country like Africa, where about 40% of the people have got, one dose, and 30% of the people 2 doses. And in our country, we have got 121 crore people vaccinated. But it's a time that, people still, we have substantial portion of people to be vaccinated. So the message for the people is that please do not lower your guard. Please follow appropriate behavior in terms of wearing masks, sanitizing and following the social distancing. But do get your either first dose or second dose of vaccine for whichever you are due. So that is the most important part. And if you have any symptoms, do report to the healthcare authorities.
And I think the point that you're making about not lowering our guard, Prime Minister stressed on it in the high-level meeting that he had with authorities. He said, even if you are fully vaccinated, please do not forget COVID-appropriate behavior. And Dr. Seth, I want to talk to you about the severity of this new variant. And there's so much talk about the transmissibility of it.
Yeah, I think we've got to understand a few aspects, that we are talking about a variant which is of concern, but we should not panic around it. It just reminds us about precautions. It reminds us about the problems which lurk around at every step. The fact that we've got a variant is not a surprise. We've been expecting variants, and variants have been happening with every virus. I want to dwell, I'm not a virologist, but I can actually guide you, because I've been directly involved in treating patients for the last 2 years. That fine, it's got numerous mutations, and that's why the concern. The theoretical concern at the moment, and in some ways practical also, is the fact that it perhaps is more infective. But we're still not certain that whether can it cause extremely severe illnesses, or would it just cause mild illnesses? That's one aspect. And second, we're still not certain, though theoretically it may sound like that can it bypass immunity, whether innate or vaccine administered immunity. Those are the aspects that we will know over the next 3 to 4 weeks. But this is correct that we just can't be complacent. It reminds us about every precautions we got to take. And I must compliment the government being proactive in this sort of a situation, where suddenly the border checks have started, the traveler checks have started, genomic testing and scrutiny and surveillance has gone paramount. And our Prime Minister actually taking a stock of the situation well beforehand, even before we actually know that this is even going to be coming anywhere, is a true example of how we at this stage are going to be better protected than we were when Delta variant took us unawares, because I think our systems were not so much in place. I want to emphasize that. And we are now better in place for all, as you know, that clearly the genomic testing groups have got together for this surveillance. It's no more individualized. Numerous laboratories and numerous experts are together on top of genomic testing and sequencing for multiple samples, which were not something which was done in the past. So I think let us remember one aspect that this has reminded us. It has reminded us that variants will come, but COVID is not gone. We've still got our biggest vaccination and protection with us, which is masking, and which is double masking. And let's not do away with masking, because double vaccination and double masking in the community as we go out there has to become a norm, just like our clothes. We wear a shirt, we wear a trouser, we wear a mask. We don't take our shirt off in the community. We don't take our trouser off in the community. We don't take our mask off in the community. And if we follow these rules, then no matter what comes, we still would be 95% protected as long as we follow these norms. And by the way, we just have to follow this one for a few more months to be able to be getting out of this huge problems. So let's watch it carefully. Let's be observant. Let's the surveillance be there. Let border checks be there. And let's our government agencies truly guide us about what's
Right.
going to happen over the next 3 to 4 weeks.
And because people are so alarmed, on a lighter note, I just want to add to what Dr. Seth was saying. You can take off your shirt if you want, but please ensure that the mask is on, because that will be fatal if you drop your mask. And let's hear from our viewers. Dr. Mehra, I'm coming to you. We have viewers joining us. Kiran calling us from Mumbai. Good evening. You're on Times Now. Go ahead, sir.
Very good evening to all the panelists also, and a very good Saturday evening to all the listeners. Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's one question which I wanted to ask you, is that when we are talking about this COVID variant alarm going around, and all the major all European countries have put the travel restrictions in place, is India again slow to react?
Okay.
Because we don't have anything in place right now.
Okay. I've taken that down. Manohar Singh now joining us from Hyderabad. Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening to all the panel doctors.
We can hear you, sir. Mr. Singh, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Sir. Yes, sir. Good evening to all the panel doctors on your set, sir. And I have a question, and I hope I will get an answer for my question. Are we staring at another lockdown, sir?
Well, I'm afraid the doctors are in no position to answer that one. But Dr. Mehra, you heard the two questions. What would you say, sir?
At the moment, I would say there is no need to panic. The INSACOG, the Indian SARS-CoV-2 Genomics Consortium that we have, is keeping a very close watch, and so far we have not identified even a single case of that so far. Yesterday, when we were talking, some people were calling it as a dominant Delta strain or a resurgent Delta strain, but I'm glad that the WHO has now named it, the tag, the technical advisory group of WHO has called it now Omicron. Omicron is a good name, and we don't have to worry too much about it. Dr. Seth has really summarized very well, and I support each word that he said. I'm again reiterating the three components of the virus that we are talking about. One is this virus is definitely more contagious, because in South Africa, suddenly in the last 7 to 8 days, the number of infections grew up. So it is definitely contagious. The second very important point that I want to look into, and I think data in the next couple of days will make it clear, is it going to do any immune escape? That is, people who have been vaccinated or people who have been cured of the SARS-CoV-2 and they already have antibodies. Does this new variant actually escape from that? The third point is even more important, and that is, does this virus, does this new variant give you a serious infection and hospitalization over there? There we have no data as yet. I think these are all speculations at the moment.
Okay.
I would feel if it was just a contagious and does not give any serious disease, it will be in the long run good thing, because we will develop more immunity actually. But the 5 other things that I want to highlight, you may not give me time later on, because the tag, the WHO tag, and this is for the questioner. The 5 things that the WHO tag has said: please continue to maintain the virus appropriate behavior, wear a good well-fitting mask. Not the mask on your chin, but mask on your whole face. Number 2, hand hygiene, like we were doing it last year, very carefully. Third is, if you're in a closed space, make sure that you have increased ventilation over there. Number 4, avoid crowded spaces. This is very important for us, because we are entering the phase of the marriages in India, we're entering the phase of elections in India, and we are entering the phase another festival time in India. And number 5, even more important, get vaccinated. Because the data from Holland, country like Holland, indicates average hospitalization age of unvaxxed individual in Holland is 59 and of vaxxed is 77. So I think vaccination is the key. We still have about 16 to 17 crore adults in India,
right,
who have not even got a single dose. That's a worry.
Okay, that's a worry. More viewers want to ask their question, get their queries answered. Sudesh is now joining us from Nashik. Good evening.
Good evening to the elite panel here. My question is, as you know, all the schools have opened in the recent past and none of the children are vaccinated. And what protection can possibly they take for the long hours of the school? If you could throw some light on it,
Sure.
it would be nice.
I've noted that down. OP Swaminathan now joining us from Bengaluru. Sir, good evening.
Yeah, Pranay, good evening. I got two questions. One, now 25, if you understood that 25 crores of vaccine doses are lying unused, is it not criminal? Second question is, in addition to the 2 doses of the vaccine, I have also taken the pneumonia and the flu vaccine. Does it protect me more?
Okay. Dr. Buddhi Raja, would you answer those two, sir? Protection for kids, and if you does it offer more protection if you are fully vaccinated and if you've taken other vaccines?
Yeah, so as far as vaccination for children is concerned, that has already been discussed. Now, I really want to put the context clear here that opening of schools really should not have anything to do with vaccination, and the two things can actually happen parallel. Again, the focus has to be on COVID appropriate behavior, which gives a much larger protection. So you can open schools with a very cautious environment. Children should be told to maintain distance, not overcrowd. You can split the classes into morning, evening shifts, and the children can wear masks and do frequent hand hygiene. I think that would really save them from getting infection and carrying that infection home. And as and when the government opens up vaccination for children between 5 to 12 years or older, from 12 to 18 years, that would be addressed, and the vaccinations probably would happen within the school campuses itself. So we should wait and not panic on that and let government take a call on that. And if children are invited to schools, as parents, I think we should send them to schools. The second question is regarding protection. Now, whatever vaccines are approved in the country, whether that's Covaxin or Covishield, one should opt for it. Take the 2 doses as the appropriate dosing interval. The second dose, definitely after you've taken the second dose, the level of protection is much higher. Even against a strain like Delta, you have a good 60-70% protection. Now, the question of whether the same vaccines will give you enough protection against Omicron strain, that is something which it is still too early to answer that question. Very early reports which have started to trickle in from South Africa have shown that reinfections do happen, and sort of people who are fully vaccinated also are getting infected, but the severity of infection is not too high, but we still have to wait. There is a presumption that there is some immune escape happening, and the vaccine may not be as protective against Omicron strain as in the other strains, but it is still too premature. So the mortality data, the severity of disease, and the effectiveness of vaccine, these 3 answers we'll have to wait for a few weeks to come in. But we must not wait. We must take our vaccine dose at the right time.
I'm coming to you, Dr. Garg. Dr. Garg, Dr. Seth, I'm coming to you. Narayana now joining us from Hyderabad. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening to all. One is that the government is waiting and watching with caution. I mean, the caution can be taken once the ban takes place for the arrivals of the people coming from the infected areas. It could be a knee-jerk reaction, but it has got to be done, and they can watch forever. That is a continuous process, number one. Number 2 is that the precautions have not to be made mandatory because the people have loosened their, they have become a little more comfortable with the precautions.
Right. People have become complacent. That's right. That's a good point. Can we consider the fully vaccinated population completely safe from the fatal impacts of the infection, Dr. Garg?
If you take 2 doses of vaccine, and the 2 doses you have to take irrespective of your disease condition. That means even if you have been infected, you have to still take 2 doses of vaccine. That means if you have suffered from the infection, then you can take the first dose after 3 months. If you have taken 1 dose before infection and then infection happens, then second dose you have to take again 3 months after the infection. That is one thing. The number 2 part is that at every point of time you have to maintain COVID appropriate behavior, which is being stressed again and again. And there was one question regarding opening of schools also. Please remember, as of now, we are talking of a time that where we have to maintain, perfect, we have to be in a perfect safe condition, in the sense that we have to, whatever we can. That means we do not have, as of now, a single case.
Right.
But the government of India, under guideline of Ministry of Home Affairs, is doing the testing of all the passengers, and those who are positive, their samples are being sent for genomic sequencing. The focus is also on, containment zones and the surveillance. So testing, treating, tracking. The mantra which is originally was there, which had gone down, we have to put in our systems in place. So that is important. So please remember, the important things are that we need to take the vaccinations, follow COVID appropriate behavior. Do not hesitate to send children to school, because there is no compromise between the real-time education and a digital education.
Well said, ma'am. In the end, Dr. Seth, we don't have much time, but I do want to understand from you, sir, while we are talking about this variant Omicron, where do you stand on this debate about the third booster dose?
So let me just say that there is no debate around boosters. You don't have to take sides, because it's a continuum process. There's no doubt that there has to be a focus on double vaccination. And by the way, one thing which got missed out is that double vaccination there still may be an immune escape, and one may actually catch COVID and have breakthrough infections. But what is clearly understood with double vaccination, even for Delta virus, was that severe illnesses were decreased, hospitalization was decreased, and mortality was minuscule, even for the Delta virus in those who were double vaccinated. That may happen for this virus also. By the way, as regard the booster is concerned, the most important aspect is it's not a debate. Clearly the focus is double vaccination, but if vaccines are available and are going to expire, as we hear in the news, or are going to be exported out, then there's absolute a point considering revaccination and boosters, because boosters are going to be required anyway, and are required even in our flu vaccine. So it's nothing new. And perhaps what's happening is that the frontline workers, the hospital workers, the ones who are susceptible, the one with low immune responses, are already nearing, by the way, the 10 months post their first vaccination, post their double vaccination. So actually there would be a time to look at it soon, and maybe this is the situation which arises a relook as to say, if we've got surplus vaccines, yes, we could transfer that into booster dose of susceptible communities like frontline workers, like doctors, and like the ones with low immunity. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just fine-tuning a roadmap. And this is the time to create a roadmap. And the government is already looking at it. As you know, you've already heard that is going to come under consideration, at least for discussion by the experts very soon. And they will guide us as to the right time, should we say. So the issue is timing rather than for or against truly.
Great. On that note, I think it was great having that conversation with all four of you. Thank you for sparing the time and putting out the information. A lot of the queries also answered of our viewers. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on debate number 1 on NewsHour Special Edition.
The News Hour Special Edition will be right back.